Anvu yayita mu bintu bingi ebyobulumi yayita mu kutulugunyizibwa mu kukubibwa mu kujogebwa naye kyaddaala n'agamba nti si kampeta kubanga yali mufumbo wa mpeta n'agamba nti si kampeta n'atambula n'agenda naye olwakadde tulina engeri gye twabitematemamu mukaawo n'otatubulira ddala okuvaayo okwo. How did you choose to say now I'm getting up and all that? Because initially wali otugambye nti Mukama wasooka n'omugamba nti Mukama nze bw'ompa chance eno and I escape, I'm not looking back, and then you looked back like I don't know how many times. Naye waliwo olwazuuka nogaa kati ekiba kibe n'otambula n'ogenda naye olwakadde twabitematemamu kaawo kyali kyangu okuva mu bufumbo obwo?
Tekyali kyangu kuba natunuliranga abaana bange nimpuliranga omutima gumenyeka kuba baali bato. Asembayo obuto yali about 1.5 years. Kati ng'olabira ddala bwe mba mbakutte ne mbajjayo ndagawa ne bwe mba nga mbalekedde ani. But like I remember explaining that I had to choose to leave them behind because I did not know even where I was taking them. Atera namanya nti singa mbakwata n'enziruka nabo omuntu ono agenda kunnumba agenda kunnoonya buli wamu kuba olaba nasooka kuvangayo naye ng'olaba nnoonya buli wamu okitegeera. So kyali kizibu nnyo okuba nti nno even at the point of me losing my life ku kiseera kye nawuliramu nti okay kakati ndabika ntuuse okufa naye nga kizibu still okukola decision eyo ate nga ffenna tuli bwe tutyo abakyala abasinga abandaba olwaleero oli eyo ng'otudde nga naye oli mu mbeera ey'okunyigirizibwa otuuka ne bakutuga ekiro n'owulira ng'ogenda kufa naye nga mazima ga nnyabo osigala lw'abaana. Kiva mu kubeera nti nno you're committed to this marriage and you be like okay let me stay for the children,
for the sake of the children,
okitegeera because abaana bali involved. Now, yesterday when I posted the flyer about this program, someone was attacking me and saying that I am an advocate for divorce. And I'm like, no, actually sharing my story helps people understand that it is about wisdom. In James, when you read James chapter 1 from verse 1 to around 7, you see that we go through tribulations. But James was telling us to have wisdom even as you go through that persecution. You have to get wisdom. You have to inquire of the Lord what's happening. Our God hates divorce, yes, but He's not a ruthless God. He's a merciful God. This was a matter of life and death. And now thinking about how I would have to leave my children, my very young children behind, going to a place which I don't know. Simanyi waje nalindaga, simanyi we nalintandikira, nali mbadde nga try to have a Kampala. I had not lived in Kampala for over 7 years. Now, a period of 7 years, you and I know that a lot of things have changed.
Of course.
That even when I thought of getting a job, I couldn't get jobs. Emyaka musanvu olwo nga tute cards zange eza ATM yanzijako passports nazijako identity card naye ng'otandikirawa
okunoonya omulimu
n'emikwano gyange. And I remember I mentioned this, he had isolated me from both my family and my friends. So who do you even contact in that moment in time? Era weyatuuka boro period gye yatuuka nga yanzijako amasimu nga ngamba nti no, because me I'm communicating to people out there that he's beating me. But that was the truth. I needed help. I needed to be rescued. Okay? It's not that natuka ku kyalo nengera nenangirira nga abulira enjiri nti banange bankuba. Whoever I had been telling, especially my pastors, I was seeking for help. But you know, when you say those things, then omwasanguza omtwaziza. And I'm not advocating as well for us to throw our rugs out there in women who are married women. But most of the time, we ought to find help. One Bible yegamba tuza abantu bayite, bring witnesses, bring them. Let's sit down and discuss these things.
Actually,
but even
to cut you short, during our previous episodes, people went on our YouTube channel and commented on that video, most of your videos. And I was amazed. So many women are going through domestic violence.
A lot.
Like, worst things are happening in their families. Ningo uliaze na akola comment na agamba, thank you so much for being so open. We are dying. I'm also going through the same thing, but I can't tell anyone. Do you get the point?
Yes.
Nengo muntu kyayitamu si kirungi ate si kituufu. Like we said, we are not advocating for divorce and separation. Naye nga wagambe waliwo time wotukanga you have to choose between life and death. Wisdom. And sometimes abantu nga bwe ngambe balina permanent injuries.
Yes, and I remember sharing with you that about my permanent injury. I don't want to even think it is permanent, because I believe God is able to heal. And from the time I realized that was there, the Lord, I've been praying and praying gradually, and my pain has, decreased by time. So about my 2 discs, I mean, who knew that if I had stayed one more day, my life couldn't be normal, abantu bangi bafiridde mu bufumbo naye nga lwaki, because waliwo etteeka nti no, God hates divorce. Really, you think God is happy when his child afa? Like, do you think God is happy for us nti nobeera mu kifo ekyo n'otuuka n'okufa abaana bo ne bajja ne batunuulira amalaalo? Now that was one of the drives. I was like, okay, I know, God, you hate this, but because I don't want to put my children through a lifetime of not having a parent, in as much as you're saying you're protecting those children by staying in that marriage, still they are going to lose you because you might die. Something might happen. And that drove me out. I'm like, you know what? I had this picture in my mind where I saw my children at my graveyard, if it was even going to be there.
And the question is, if you died, then where would you go? Are you sure you would be in heaven? Because you would have died with a lot of anger and hatred
and bitterness and rage. Ekintu kyonna in the Bible etugamba nti bwe kuba kutu the ear is making you sin, cut it off. You get what I'm saying? I believe my God is merciful. Now, when I talk about how I left, I had a voice. And that voice, I am telling you, my friends, it couldn't have been the devil telling me to get out. Because it was about saving my life at that particular time. Nengamba Mukama, if it is you who is speaking for me to get out, I need you to help me get some money. Because I did not have money, my ATMs had been taken. The thing is, at that point in time, nali simanyi wajendaga. Nenga manyi nsobola otandikira ewa mukadde wange. Then after a time, maybe I can figure life out. So I had to choose to leave my children behind painfully and leave.
Ngolo balekeda ni cousin.
My friend. Gamba zima bweyankubanga yagambanga ono yajja okutuula mu makaago kazini wo simanyi biki yagwe ngenda okuleeta. And the truth is bino byonna yali abyogera nga mmanyi nti just bwabigambo bingi kunnumya naye nga amazima gali nti I think he had a clear plan, because by that time he had planned to take my cousin back to school, something he had not done for me. Okay? And I mean, I would be okay, but at the same time I am thinking, can't I be the one to propose that to her than you, my husband, proposing something like that to her? Anyhow, a few weeks ago, I realized that I was so blind to their schemes that I got to find out information. I remember you asked me the other day, do you actually have concrete evidence that these two people are sleeping with each other? And I'm like, well, the truth is I kind of had a clue, but I did not want to face the truth. Now, after a few days, I'm seated there on my dining table having breakfast and meditating, and I'm like, but wait a minute, I don't really know what happened. Okay, how can I speak to people when I don't actually know what happened? And so I call my cousin's then best friend, and she starts to narrate these things. And my heart breaks into pieces. My ex-husband, I think, they had cheated on me for more than 2 years, as far as I can remember.
When you're still there?
Yes, when I was still there, for about 2 years. And they were doing it under my nose. And anyone will say that, oh my goodness, you are stupid. How can they do it? People can hide. But at the same time, I think I loved this man too much. And I loved my cousin so much as well.
You trusted them?
I trusted her. I didn't think that she would be the one to do that. Now, many of us are out there, and we have relatives in our homes. We even have best friends who we've exposed to our husbands. And people have been commenting and saying, why do you blame that girl? Why don't you blame your husband? The thing is, both of them are accountable to this. Okay, it cannot be one person. Maybe I'm also accountable in one way or the other. I probably gave the gap, but at the same time, when we come to the presence of God, we are all accountable for what we do. Okay, I did not blame nobody, but the thing is, they broke my trust. And that at that point in time, as I'm hearing these things, I struggled so much with the pain of betrayal. And anyone would ask, do you actually still love this man? And I'm like, wait a minute. It's not even about love. It's about the pain of betrayal. One, my children having to suffer through trauma, okay? Psychological issues. Myself, and I want to remove myself out of the equation first of all. My children. The time they have spent with no school fees, with no food on the table, with no clothes, because one person decided to choose otherwise. What happens to our hearts? What has happened to our generation, people? What has happened that we are shamelessly doing these things to families? I'm talking to the girls out there, the ladies out there who have chosen to break up marriages just because you want a meal on your table, just because you want rent. What will you do if someone else did that same thing to you? Because you reap what you sow. Exactly. You sow that kind of seed, you're going to reap it in the future. Or probably your children as well. You know? Yes. I think about how my children had to go through this pain. How they've had to handle psychological issues. My oldest daughter, the other day when I was on the show, I told you we were in hospital. I had to go back and forth because she was going through a time of confusion. She's struggling to forgive her father even up to today for the things, because she still remembers these things. They are so vivid. And I'm trying to get her a psychologist and get her into counseling and praying with her. Why are we so ruthless to that point that we don't think about what these children are going through? She could have thought about harming me for whatever reason. But let's think about these children for a minute. And then the second thing that really broke my heart is I could have lost my life because of my own relative who I brought in my house.
Do you think the problem came in because of your relative?
So from times past, as I explained the other time, that, for example, after 1 year of marriage, there were those cycles where he was drinking and he was, banging the doors and being ruthless, and I did not understand it, okay? And I think in the second year of marriage, I remember there was some other lady from the States. She was a Black American. I used to see how he would relate with her, and my heart was not at rest. So he had those patterns. So I don't know, there was also another girl, I think, from the market that I found out. Because
in the what?
She worked in the market. Now, the thing is, I wouldn't place the whole blame onto my cousin, but she had a choice. She had a decision to make. She would have said, no, I choose not to be the one. You get what I'm saying? But she chose to be the one, to be used by the enemy to completely break up this marriage. Were there cycles of unfaithfulness? Absolutely. But maybe God did not allow all these other people, and maybe they also made a choice not to be the ones to break up this marriage. But this girl chose.
Yeah. Even
after I left, she had the audacity of staying in my home, using my towels. This is my almost...
Someone has left their home.
You know?
You have seen what has been happening to them. And for you, you're like,
this is the girl I took care of. She was so young. I used to visit her in school in Masaka. Many times her parents had failed to give her school fees. I'm the one who paid. Now, I'm not saying all these things are kwewana, but let's look at these things. Let's look at, because me, I'm a black and white person. I'm not gray, okay? Why choose to do these things? And then I didn't bring her to my home. I brought her into the business to work, to get money, fend for herself. I paid her rent, okay? I paid her salary. I gave them meals. It was not actually just one person, plus all the other workers.
Someone was asking, did she leave because of her cousin? The thing is, did you leave because of your cousin?
I left because I was being beaten.
So if that relationship was going on and there was no beating, there was no fighting and all that, would you stay in that marriage?
I think at that time, I think I could have chosen to stay, especially because my children were so young.
Okay.
Nga simanje mbatwala. Era singa kubabuli we nachirowozaako ne ngamba ne omusajja no bwankuba nanzita. What happens? Bwankwate waabe jjukira nali wa Lukindo. Enkindezo. Satu gwe n'okwata omukazi n'omukuba.
Oh, amyezi esatu Lukindo.
Like ngolinga akuba ente. You're not thinking about what happens if I did this, you know. Anyhow, so as I leave, I come down to Kampala and I first stay at my mom's place. So then I start to listen to, my brother recommended MCF radio, like those testimonies, and I was telling God, if I could just get one person who kind of has a story that is related to mine, njakuguma. Naye nawuliriza radio for one day after another. No one had my exact story. And I said, what went wrong with my life? Like, where did I go wrong? You know? At that point, like I mentioned, my father had died when I was 7. This man probably yakole fujjolenga, no one is going to stand up to him.
Let me first take you for a short break. Tugenda kukomawo tubuulire ogambye ovuddeyo otandise okuwuliriza radio. Otubulire wavaayo walagawa. Niye eryakusasulira wavaayo n'ofunayo boy omulala. Beautiful show. We are going for a short break, but we are coming back.
You're watching Be Hopeful. We'll be right back after the break. Bethany TV for health. Are you ready for this good news? You can now watch Bethany TV on Your TV, Afromobile, and Airtel TV apps. Yes! Catch the finest programming prescription for everybody, wherever you are, whenever you are. Bethany TV for health.
Child health and well-being, the foundation for a bright and promising future. Join us for exciting episodes aimed at optimizing our children's physical, mental, and emotional health with our team of experts, including pediatricians, nutritionists, and child psychologists, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on Bethany TV.
Bethany TV for health. Introducing Bethany TV, the pioneer health and wellness channel in Uganda and Africa, having a profound commitment to health and wellness. Our content takes various forms, from music and series to documentaries, talk shows, news, features, movies, cartoons, and reality shows. We are a hybrid station available on free-to-air and pay platforms, embracing the digital age as we maintain a strong online presence through our website, social media platforms, and mobile apps. Explore our rich and diverse content, engage with us on social media, and be a part of the positive change we aim to bring to the health and wellness landscape. Bethany TV for health.
Health Minutes on Bethany TV.
Cervical cancer is the fourth most common cancer among women globally. It is a preventable and treatable form of cancer, yet it remains one of the most common causes of death for women.
It is a tumor that always affects females because males don't have cervix, so it happens in females. So cervical cancer, it happens that there is a change in the histology or the growth of the cervix.
Risk factors include having multiple sexual partners, immunosuppression, and cigarette smoking.
Multiple sexual partners can also be a factor, and the people with human papillomavirus, those who have been infected with human papillomavirus, when you have sex with somebody who has papillomavirus, the virus has a factor that can easily transform the cervix into having the cervical cancer.
Early stage cervical cancer generally produces no or very few signs and symptoms, which may include irregular blood spotting or light bleeding between periods in women of reproductive age, postmenopausal spotting or bleeding, bleeding after sexual intercourse.
Yeah, signs would always present with PV bleeding. You look through the speculum and try to examine them. You find that there is a growth on the cervical os. Management would do radiochemo and also surgical.
Women can reduce their risk of developing cervical cancer by having regular screening tests and receiving a vaccine that protects against HPV infection.
Better healthcare for a better tomorrow. That was the Health Minute.
Bethany TV for health. And now, more with Be Hopeful.
Bali kwangu chatambula naffe wano ku Bethany TV Be Hopeful Show. Nze Winnie tuline omukyala Zanny Brown. Zanny Fever. The warrior woman. Nera ka story Brown. Abantu babuuza oli ofunye boy bino tubulira bulizi story maya abakyala mumanyi okwekubamu egundi mugwamu akeddaludalu okuba ofunye akupepeza nosalawo n'ogamba nze nsibye abaana basigaleyo nze ŋŋenze
banaye mbabuulire
ani yali akupushinga okuva omusajja
in that chaos, in that very, very traumatic season, there is just no way I could have even afforded just a simple friendship for a man. Kuba nali nkutuse, nali menyese. I was going through too much trauma. Era ne bwe yayogeranga nga nnoonya agamba abantu nti oyo omuguwa ddalu. Gamazima nali ntuuse okugwa eddalu singa nali nsigaddeyo kuba natuuka ne ngenda mu kyaki ye Mutundwe nga ndaba abantu bazina nga ndaba abantu bacacanja, like people were celebrating God, and I'm like, what are they even doing, you know? Because if God had left me to go through this state, why me? I wanted answers. Natunya abantu nga bazina nga nebuuza naye lwaki nze oba okitegera nobeera mu mbeera eyo nga things are happening around you, but for a moment you don't even understand what it is. And I remember that very day, the very day I stepped in that church, I saw people dancing. They didn't look like they had much, you know, but they were celebrating, they were happy. And I'm like, God, I need this happiness. Yes, nali mulokole naye kirabika bo Katonda waabwe nali sinnamutegeera bulungi. So nanyikira ngogendayo nga bwe nayogerayo nti nagenda nensinkana abasumba to give me some answers, to tell me, I needed maybe someone to just tell me, go get out of that marriage, but no one ever told me get out. Buli yawuliranga ng'agamba ngamugamba nti no bufuba bwampita nga itawali genda. I'm like, so one day Pastor Vicky mmala okugira naye nangamba talina budde bwogera nange biki nempuliranga nina okunyolwa netandika complaininga mu mutima gwange ninga naye Mukama lwaki nze gwe baguba nzireyo eri ate bate bakube nga mpulira emigonji koye nga how is it that I'm not even finding any answers? And the truth is, I may not have an answer for you as well in your situation. But I went to God directly. He actually told me, come to me directly. Those people do not know what plan I have for you.
Yeah.
Come to me and speak to me. Give me that platform. Nkubiriza omuntu ali eyo ng'olina embeera eyo gy'oyitamu eyinza okuba nga yifaananyizako ku yange oba n'endala n'abasajja gye bali ng'abakyala babayisa bubi. There are men who actually go through trauma as well. Okitegeera kuba bo teboogera baamanyira okubeera nti ebintu byabwe babyetikka batambula nabyo, tolina gw'ogamba, tolina gw'oyogerako. Genda ogwe mu maaso ga Mukama omukaabirire omugambe Mukama lwaki ondese okuyita mu mbeera eno mpa amagezi okulaba nti njiyitamu ate nga sijiyitamu nga ndi bubi like with permanent wounds and stuff.
Yes.
So I went to God when I heard that voice telling me that I want you to come to me. I went to him and I started praying and I started seeking out for answers from him. The truth is, like I said, he told me one of those days I saw in a dream and there was a word written on space, "No God." And so I knew that I had to embark on a journey to get to know my Lord. And as I walked with him, there are things that he started to reveal to me that had, happened, for example, from my family, from his family spiritually, and be able to deal with them. And all this time, I was also praying. Remember, I told you people that I forgave him. My journey of forgiveness was not any easy at all.
Wow.
Because it is a time where you are practically trying to forgive this person, but he's doing more. He's adding to the pain. He's scratching in it. Ngowulira waliwo olumu wakifokota nogana yo omuntu ono bannonyaako ki. Kuba ebigambo ng'alina bingi. Yes, maze okuvaayo naye akuba essimu. Kati waliwo natuuka because of my emotional health, I'm like, okay, let me stop hearing from him for now. I knew I needed to talk to my children, but at the same time he was not even allowing me to talk to those children. So why let the communication go on when he's he's affecting, whatever he's doing is affecting my emotional health. So one of the things you choose is you choose yourself first. Choose your emotional health. I had to kind of block off all these voices. Mikwano jengo olumu bankubira ne bangamba gundi nno manyi bwe yakoze bwati. Yagambye bwati. N'akubira abazadde n'alyoka abayombesa n'alyoka abavuma n'abasasobula n'abateeka wali. Nze sina abazadde babiri n'omuzadde ogwo maama naye nga naye amuvuma n'amuteeka wali n'amulangira nga bw'ali omulogo n'amulangira ebintu bino byonna ebinene.
Ate waba yakuba maama we ate owuwo. Kaakati
ntuuka n'embeera mu maka ago nga sikulimba tetulina mirembe ne ngamba bwe mba siviridde mu kyalo ono omuntu ono agenda leeta agenda kujja atuleetereko obuzibu because era nabagamba.
Did you try to kugoberera najje wa maama?
Yajja tojjukira n'agamba nayogera oli n'engamba around 31st of December he came and he tried to beat me from my house.
Oh, and
from my home. And so I locked myself in one of the bedrooms. Kati namanya ndi bwana asigala nga akomawo ajja kukola effujjo lye limu ati tutandika okuswala ku kyalo.
Ne maama ng'abikooye.
Kitegeera nga naye abikooye tumuteeka mu nsonga zaffe. Ensonga z'amaka banaye nsonga nzibu nnyo abazadde tebetaaga nnyo zibeeramu. At the end of the day they are looking up to us. We're a born again couple. My mom was not born again as such. So these people in our families are looking up to us as the example.
Naye nga mubatamizza ne wabulokole bwammwe.
Bangamba n'okungamba ewaffe tutanga mutuleetera musumba. Banaye bansonyiwe mukama nsaasire kakati mbadde mbagamba nti ntuuka okuvaayo and I chose my emotional health. I cut off communication from him, but now I had this burden of forgiveness. That journey was painful. That journey because I used to hear voices of him ng'ayogera kino even when he was not around ng'ampulira ebigambo bye byawawalanga in my ears and I felt like I'm going crazy, I'm going nuts. But all that time I spent more of my time in prayer. Kuba nagamba kanonye Katonda nensoka nenva ewaka. I remember I talked to one of my friends, one of the friends I had got over time in the US. Nemugamba nkubulire nyamba, if you could just send me $100 nfune nyumba iwesobola okusasula and nve wa mama kubanga
ngatolo tekireta even wouldn't it make it was you living alone?
I think what I needed was actually to be alone first of all because nalabanga ne mukadde nga ntunuulira amaziga gamuyitambule we yantunuulira nga nalaba ennaku gye nali mpitamu nga kwegamba kimuluma nentunuulira baganda bange baali bato jjukira nze mukulu nendebya ddala nga my life was a mess. And here I was, everyone believed in me because they knew I had gotten born again at a very tender age. Okay? Everyone knew I was born again. Kati ngabeebuuza mu family yange bamanyi by the way nti olwokuba nti ndi mulokole mukama nze gwasingira ddala okuwuliriza essaala. And I think that's how I've ended up being a prayer warrior. Somehow I know God answers my prayer and that's how my family have being been able to know it. Kanaye nga beebuuza at this point, Katonda wo yaliwa. So nali nina okusooka okutegeera nange Katonda wange gwe mbadde nsaba aliwa. Maybe simutegeera bulungi. So that's why I get, I think, about $100 nengera nensasula ennyumba ennansana ya $10,000 buli mwezi. Mugeteyo wansi nentandika obulamu n'omufaliso. I remember the gas I took, the Kataini gas, I had bought it from my mom during that period of time ya Christmas. Ne radio gye nali mugulidde ng'ekirabo ekya Christmas. Ne mbikwata nenga nengula ebikopo 2 ne sowaani 2 ne seppiki n'enzijayo ewe yali emu ne mugaleka ngende.
Ng'olwo ekyokulya ogenda kukijja?
Simanyi. Ne ndyoka nsiiba ebisiibo nnaku 4, nnaku 21, nnaku 3, nnaku mmeka. Naye nga n'okumala ekisiibo, you don't even know where you're getting that food. All I knew is I needed God to do something in my life. Sente nali nzireseeyo, twalina amamotoka, twalina ettaka, twalina businesses, naye nga ebintu ebyo byonna tosobola bibeeramu nga tolina mirembe. You cannot be in those things. Tosobola beera mu bugago. Waliwo kamimu kentera olaba ku Facebook. I would rather be in a Pajero and cry in it than be in a poverty-stricken home. Let me tell you people, until you have reached there and you have known the pain, I could not stay in that place. No matter what. I had to choose my life. And then later I knew that whatever journey I was on, I was setting a legacy for my children.
Does ekisinga okutawanya abantu bangi is that, where do I start from?
Where do you begin from? Because, and I think my brothers have always told me that one thing they know is that I'm a bit very strong-headed. Once I want something, I want it. And now, maybe that stubbornness as well kind of, led to some of my breakdowns in the marriage, But at the same time, when I set my foot out and I said, I am leaving, I never turned back. This one time, I did. Because remember, all those times I was like, okay, I compromised many times, but once I was done, I was done. And I left and started out in that car room in Nansana. I would wake up every day, every night, pray during the day. And then somehow, there's someone, I think I had owed money. Nibampe mtalo jange nsanvu. Nentandika gaka business, nenkagulawo.
Nga okoze ekyo mtalo nsanvu.
Nesaka nengulayo obuzigaawo. Nembuteka, like, I went and talked to someone where I could put something near where I was staying. Banemba bulire standing nga yakuyiganiza. Business nefa. Buli kimu ne kifa.
Well, like, you are not stable to do anything.
Nothing. Anaye obulamu bwazibuwala. Nzijukira waliwo Easter, that Easter 2018, natuka ekiseera nga sirina wadde ekyokulya mu nju. Twali tukoze ekisibo kya kumpi kya nakwana ku MCF Mutundwe. Kati ne ntuuka ekiseera ku Easter abantu bafumbye emmere. Banaye mubimanyi ebya Easter, kufumba mmere, kujaguza, kwambala. Ndi mu nju yange wadde sinje ebibiri ebigula ennyaanya sibirina.
Tewalinayo mikwano.
Nga bwe nkugambye, emikwano egisooka gyonna yali yaginsalako. Kati mu kuvaayo newankubadde nafuna amasimu gange nga sina gwe nsobola kunnyonnyola kintu ekyo naakitegeera. Jjukira mbabuulira ebimu byonna byali biswaza. Tewali kubanga buli omu yali antunuulira nga bambi she's above there. Waliwo engeri gye mututunuulira ne mututwala paka waggulu eno abakyala abafumbo ate twali tufunye bizinesi sente bweziri nga omuntu omugamba nti tunyonye ennyonyi. Omuntu nga omunyonya n'omuganga ndi wansi n'ennansana sina na kyendya nga mazima gennyini tebagenda kikkiriza. And many of us are like that. Nga tolinawo otandikira.
Ate even in such a situation emikwano gikudduka buddusi.
Exactly. Nina mikwano egimu egyali gisigadde n'omu ku yennyamba okuvaayo yatuuka ekiseera nanneesalako. Because now they knew I headed for divorce and no one wanted to associate with me. Many of us out there do not want to associate with single moms. You've made most of us who are divorcees stigmatized. You think we are outcasts. We do not ask for these things. I did not wake up one morning and asked for what I am going through. I did not ask. I should mention this nga sinaba nakweyongerayo abasajja abayogeredde ba single mothers ne mubakozesa sexually just because you think they are desperate. Today I came, by the way, I came for you. Mulekerawe emizeejo bwabanga mwagala okuyamba
ate n'oyongera
okitegeera Mukama, God is going to hold you accountable. I am saying this out of experience because I know I'm a beautiful woman. Okay?
Yeah. Yes,
I am. But at the same time, these men come to me thinking that I am going to open up myself, okay, and give them what they want because they think I am naive. Now I may not be naive. Another single mother out there needs to be protected.
Yes.
Many of us men out there, and I'm talking to you who has grown up maybe in a broken family, a polygamous family, you know how you suffered. Why make this woman go through the same thing that your mother went through? If you have not gone through it, why don't you think your daughter will go through it if you make this woman suffer in that way? Banange tweddeko. I am speaking to all of us, even women out there. Abayisa bababa mu bubi waliwo abamu abakabya akajanja, you know, and I'm not despising your pain, but look at yourself, search yourself, let the Spirit of God search you.
Actually abakyala abasinga naddala ba corporates abayina emirimu emirungi, they have very good posts, but omwami gwe yafuna oba yamufuna nga businessman, business nekendeera sente nezikendera kati she's the head. Naye omusajja amuyisanga bw'ayagala. Naye nga bwe twagambye abasajja bo tebawogera, tebakaaba, bo baatondebwa mu kikula kyabwe nga babeereyo ne basirika. Naye n'abakazi abo bagambeko.
Abakyala bannange mbegayiridde tweddeko because let me tell you something. Ekintu kye nayitamu olwaleero ndi mukyala olwaleero wandibadde toyagala kiyitamu singa yegwe yali if you were in my shoes. You cannot want to go through what I went through. Don't make someone else go through it. Oyinza okubeera n'ogamba nze simukuba. The thing is you're torturing him emotionally and that is not right.
Yeah.
If you are broken in so many other things, do not transpose your pain to this person. Find healing. And I wanted to also mention that by the end of this year in December, we are coming up with a conference. Maybe it could be like a 3-day conference. It's going to be called Trauma to Triumph. Many of us go through things that we are not able to talk about. We go through things that we are not able to discuss to anyone, especially the men. And then you go and you take all that baggage into the next relationship, next relationship. You carry all this baggage on your head. My journey of healing, as I was telling you, I mentioned that I went through a time of praying, me and God, okay? Now I'm going to know there are things I needed to heal from. Like I said, a few weeks ago, I found out my ex-husband was doing with my cousin, and I cried and wailed like a child after finding out these things. And everything is starting to make sense. And then I asked God, why am I even feeling this pain? And God is like, this is a wound you had not dealt with. Now allow me to deal with it. And I went through, I remember I called you and I wanted to come back for another episode, but I kind of withdrew because I needed time to heal. You see, whatever you're going through, God is able to heal. Some of us have gone through childhood trauma. Some of us have gone through emotional trauma when it comes to just our normal relationship, not even marriages. You've gone through church trauma, and from one church to another, you jump from one church to another, and you're broken. And you have all these people to blame. You have bitterness, you have rage. Tolina jogenda kulaga with all those things you're carrying on you.
But you're just hurting others.
Yes, you're hurting, bleeding onto others.
Waliwo abantu abamu nga teyalina marriage, it was just a relationship, but because she or he was broken, n'amaliriza nga breaking a lot of hearts.
A lot of hearts.
Naye ng'anoonya ng'alinga ali ku rebounding. Anoonya oba happiness bw'atagifuna ate they fail to even accept until, you know what, I lost in the past, so I must move on. Eri abantu abamu but they take forever to move on.
Especially the men.
They take forever to move on.
Men, my gentlemen out there who are watching me, take that time to heal. And I have received a lot of messages and you know, a lot of comments from both my YouTube channel and the YouTube channel for Bethany, and in my inbox for WhatsApp, and people are crying. People are in a lot of pain and they don't know how to get out.
I was so amazed by the comments.
It's overwhelming.
So much. Even men.
My friends, I healed. I can smile about whatever I went through because I went down that journey of it. Now, I will tell you one thing. It's not a very nice journey when you have to, you become vulnerable. And that is where many of us fail, because you don't want to be vulnerable. You decide to stay away and push things under the carpet. That it does not work that way. Heal, allow yourself to heal even before jumping into another relationship. Many people have mentioned that maybe that next relationship can help you heal from the other. My friend,
you don't have to jump into a relationship No one can help you to heal, actually. You need to deal with this by yourself. God. You alone and God.
Katonda yasobola okutuyamba mu mbeera eyo. I don't care whether you are a Catholic or an Anglican or a Muslim, you need the touch of God upon your life to be able to move that journey of healing. As long as you're still carrying trauma, you're not going to be successful in so many things, because that same trauma you're going to take to your workplace. Otandika okukolerayo ebintu ebitagasa. Then you're going to start going into, you know, your relatives, then to your in-laws. I believe my ex-husband was broken as well.
Someone who has not healed does not only affect another relationship, they affect the people around them, the children, the environment where they live.
So many things.
Or so okubeera mu working environment. Abantu bonna n'obakyankalanya because someone disorganized you. Just
kakati kansoke mbaterewa okoma ntuuka ne ntandika okgendanga mu kanisa okusaba. Ngolumu ntambula nawo nengenda nenonya mukama. Kati during that time nesoka nenzigulawo, and I was talking about my time of praying for this person and forgiving him. Natandika okumu interceding gira netandika okugamba mukama saasira sonyiwa. It was a very hard, painful pill to take, but I had to go down on my knees and I asked God on his behalf. Mukama natandika okunzijukiza ebintu bye twakolanga fembi nentandika okubeera nga nenenya on both our behalves. And then one of those times as I'm praying, because I know God answers my prayer, I'm like, okay, now let me call him and invite him to church. So he comes, one of those days he comes to Kampala and ndowooza maybe kati agenda kukyuka mukama agenda mukwatako nga muyita nga tugenda e Mutundwe. Ngajja nga tugenda e Mutundwe nga kati by then it was
ng'olindako ng'olomwese naye abatusooka tugenda mu break atusooka tumulemu.
You're watching Be Hopeful. We'll be right back after the break. Bethany TV for health. The Higher Life, the era of the world revolution, with Apostle Dr. David Kunowa and Pastor Rita Bella Kunowa of Rivers of Life Assembly International, Boston, Massachusetts, USA. Streaming every Tuesday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. East African Standard Time, with the incorruptible, incomparable, and revolutionizing life-transforming Word of God. Only on Bethany TV for health.
Child health and well-being, the foundation for a bright and promising future. Join us for exciting episodes aimed at optimizing our children's physical, mental, and emotional health with our team of experts, including pediatricians, nutritionists, and child psychologists, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on Bethany TV.
Bethany TV for health. Introducing Bethany TV, the pioneer health and wellness channel in Uganda and Africa, having a profound commitment to health and wellness. Our content takes various forms, from music and series to documentaries, talk shows, news, features, movies, cartoons, and reality shows. We are a hybrid station available on free-to-air and pay platforms, embracing the digital age as we maintain a strong online presence through our website, social media platforms, and mobile apps. Explore our rich and diverse content, engage with us on social media, and be a part of the positive change we aim to bring to the health and wellness landscape. Bethany TV, for health.
Tell me, did you orchestrate this whole thing? Reluctant hero comes in and saves the day.
Chicago Med continues.
I'm not gonna let you go. Not without asking. Will you marry me?
New patients.
You're the one who always told me how important family.
New challenges.
I'm sorry, but she's coming home with us.
She's going home with you.
Tough choices.
You got an offer tonight, didn't you?
New drama.
Will you marry me?
Chicago Med Season 4 on Bethany TV, Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. Repeats Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Wake up to a healthy start every morning, burning those calories. Every Friday and Saturday morning, 5:30 a.m. with Arsima. It's the body hit here on Bethany TV. For health.
Even in rain time, it is not an excuse.
Bethany TV, for health. And now, more with Be Hopeful.
Mubale kubanga mchatambula naffe tukyali ku Be Hopeful show n'omukyala warrior woman kakati mama osabidde omwami omwegayiridde manyi mutondo bagamba nti boy kabirira katonda lwa boy kati boy wamalo kabirira mukama nomano gamba kirina okuba mu practicals. Yes. Boy alina okujja
ku church
n'omukubira akasimu n'akwata
n'emukubira
n'omuyita najja
n'emukubira nemugamba kakati mbadde nkusaba mbadde maze ebbanga nga nkusabira n'okusonyiwa nkusonyiye naye jangu tugende ku church.
Kati ng'omuyisa omusonyiye mu ngeri ki you're ready to go back?
No. I was not yet ready to go back. I wanted to observe and see how can how can we work together, and what I really wanted nali njagala nnyo akyusibwe kuba namanya nti byonna mukama byali andaga byali bintu si birungi kati nga njagala akyusibwe nga ninayo ka hope akatini
nga if he becomes a better person maybe
we can still make it naye nga nali na promisinga mukama even from the beginning mukama siddayo. But I want to tell my beautiful viewers out there, naddala bansalira omusango abaali tebamanyi buli kimu nakigezaako banaye buli kimu nakigezaako. There are people who especially from his side abatawulirako wadde kye nali mpitamu buli kimu nakigezaako namuyita ne ngamba katugende emutunde katutuuka emutunde mumanyi overnight zikubako abantu ne bafloodinga.
Yes.
Nalyoka mbuza ondete kya mu kifo ekifaananako bwe kiti ne mugamba wanje nangamba laba abantu bondeseemu bawansi nnyo like nemubuuza abantu betwali tukola nab'eggulu basingako ne wano okubeera mu mbeera embi because twali tulina obuweereza naye nga kakati gwe lwaki olowooza nti wano wenkuleese tosobola kujjaawo naye nga first of all wuliriza Katonda tuzze wano ku lwa Mukama si ku lwa abantu ye ate abantu be onoobakolamu otya nga tobaagala bannange izaavaako essaawa eyo nangamba nkulinze nkutwala fuluma tugende ne mugamba nkubuulire ne bw'oba ofa togenda kunzija ku kkanisa olwaleero ne mugamba bw'oba owulira nti nno ddala oyagala tosobola kubeerawo gwamanyi n'agenda kati ziba zituuka ssaawa nga 9 awo nze nasigadde ndowooza yagenze yafuluma ng'agenda nga ndowooza atuula mu mmotoka nga yeebaka kati nga nkubira ku 9 nti owange omaliriza wagambye omala ssaawa 9 nkulinze nkuzzeeyo ewaka.
Ewaka wawulo omwamugulidde dda bwe yava eri yakusanga ku kyakyo bawamulagirira nansana mu kazigo.
Nedda eyo nagamba simutwalayo. Namusanga mu paaka. Owulidde kakati aninda nkati nga nfuluma nga musanga mu parking nga nvuga nga ngamba kati nno manyi tugende nina hoteli wali we nafunye we nebaka jangu tugende twebake. Baganda bange nga nsooka nzirayo nga tugenda ffenna mu hoteli. Naye mba ntudde ekiro nga neebuuza naye banayezani kiki ekyakubaako oli munoge kiki? Omusajja bwakuttira wano.
Saaga kuuza byaliwo mu hoteli otyo.
Anti munange tulina okusonyiwa si bwe batugamba si Bayibuli bwegamba you forgive 70 times 77 times.
Sikatoveyo n'abalongo.
Yesu kabaka. Nkubuulire kati mba ndi awo nga mbirowooza ngamba naye nedda. Nali nsazeewo sisobola mmenya kintu kino paka nga Katonda ntegedde ddala ddala nti kituufu. Kati nga kumakya nga nkeera nga nyambala engoye zange nga nfuluma. Salinda biddako nga nfuluma.
But I can now surely tell that you loved your husband.
I did.
You loved your marriage and you were willing
I
to
am
try.
willing. I was willing to make everything.
Make things happen.
Yes. Kuba nasaba, nasiba, banene nsabira omusajja. Kati mwabali abagamba nti, hey, you're advocating for divorce. Sweetheart, you don't know what I went through. I tried even more than you can try. Okay? And now, in the middle of that, I live, kati nga mukonvinsinga nga mwana yo manya abana baleete. Kati nga manya that night.
Just to sweet talk him to which way gives you the
God
children.
being my witness, I wasn't really sweet talking him in that place. I wanted this thing to maybe work because I felt like I was so alone. Ngateli antegeera. Yes, naye yali tantegeera naye okubeera nga you out of a marriage abana bo baleseeyo tomanyi wootandikira 7 years you've worked with this man, you've left everything you had, everything you believed in, tolina wootandikira. Mbagambe nali na kafaliso na kagasi na radio na bikopo bibiri sowaani biri na sepicha emu. And then I tried to create a business, everything failed. Bwije nagezangako kukola nga kigaana nensaba emirimu ne gigaana.
Olumwawukanaawo ku makya kuwayo kasente.
Yampa. Yankosa endoozi emitwalo 2 for transport. Kati nga mukomisi nga mugana naye abaana kola kiddayo baleete abaana bakyali bato.
Yakubuuza obeerawo.
Yambuuza ne mugamba nina gye mbeera sisobola kugamba. I don't trust you yet. And so in that time I remember leaving. Nangamba nga baana ngenda baleeta buli kimu. Era na fasting, I don't know if I mentioned this story. I fasted and for 3 days, dry. Ninga mukama abana bange mbetaaga. Kati mu process eyo n'abaleeta down to Kampala to meet with me. Nayajja yali ndoza afunye sente nga ziwerako ng'aguze stock wa supermarket n'edduka ly'ebizigo buli kimu. Kyava ntunuuliza emmotoka nga ngamba olaba emmotoka eyo yali ya super custom kuliko buli kye weetaaga kati tula mu motoka tugende eggulu. Ne mugamba wangi we agreed you'll bring the children, I can start living with them, we can even get schools for them until when we can, if we are to work out this thing, you know. And then I remember in that moment yangamba kati golooza nsobola okulekera abaana bano. Ne mugamba we agreed. That was the 3rd day of my fasting. And so I felt so disappointed that this man, he was taking me for granted.
But he should have expected that.
I think, again, I was probably blind. And so in that moment, yayagala kati okuleetera akavuyo kuba namumitingira waka wa mama wange. Nenduka mudduka k'emisinde nenfuluma nasala bwenti nengenda nenkwata boda nengenda paka e Nansana.
Olonga abaana bano bakulabako.
Of course nga bayagala ate nga alina ebintu byabagamba nga bagamba tell mommy to let's go to Gulu. Kati nga bajja nga banga mami let's go to Gulu, let's go back home. Nga buli bakyogera nga mpulira omutima gukutuka nga waliwo mpulira ekintu ekinyiga nga omutima, my heart was tangibly paining. but I knew that now I had to be sober.
Yeah.
Okitegeera abaana bange nali mbagala nnyo naye ng'ate n'obulamu nali mbwetaaga. So ne muddukako bwe muddukako n'alinnya emmotoka n'azzaayo abaana. Kati brother wange olweggulo nga nkubira essimu nga ŋŋamba nti naye ggwe Katonda yalinga addamu essaala zo ennaku zino wabaaki bagambye wasiibye ennaku 3 abaana bagenda bakuleetera baba bakuleetedde nti nedda abazizzaayo kyava nsekerera naŋŋamba olina ne ssente ez'okusiibulukuka ne mugamba nedda naŋŋamba jangu nengenda ku mulimu gwe we shared his food naŋŋamba naye ekintu kye yaŋŋamba kyanchallenge nga nenzeewa mukama naye mukama how could I have fasted all this while and I don't see food you know. And so after the food I took I think I took a taxi, then a board at where I was staying. Kati mbanzigulawo oluggi bwetyo, it was 10 p.m, close to 10 p.m. nga nfuna essimu gye nali simanyi. Jjukira nali nkozesa ennamba empya. Ngamba ani ankubira. Kati ennamba yange yali agifunye because of that other encounter. Kati nga mpulira omuntu gwe njogera naye simumanyi. Nga baŋŋamba bbaawo, your husband has knocked someone on the road and he has died.
He has died?
Yes. I'm like, can you explain to me more? Who is this even who is talking to me? No, isn't your husband called this name? Yes. Don't you have 3 children with him? Yes. You come, he was driving, going back home with the children in the car. He knocked someone and the person died. He was actually a border man. Nga ina gwawese. Naye wa border yali avuga yafa.
Kati nga kola kugamba n'omwami wafudde.
Nga ngamba omwami wo bamuyina mu police cell bamusibye. Kati nga sinnabitegeera bulungi. Nga ngamba abaana yabalina ate musajja. Ne ngamba abaana kano kati kabanga katego. Kubanga obutego bwe bwonna kati nali nabugwamu bwali bususse. Ne ngamba no. It was 10 and I was like, I cannot come right now. Okay, but let's wait until we go through the night. If you could just help me, just help me take those children to your school. The thing is, I love those children, but I can also not risk my life. Let me come in the morning. Kuba ne transport nali sirina. Nga nina okwenoonya nkubire gundi.
Bagambye akabenje kagwiriddewo.
Kaali kagwiridde eggulu.
Okay.
Kakati we reached there. Lero nagambye kanjogera Oluganda. Abataategeera luli batutegeera olwaleero. Kakati ntuuka mu mbeera eyo nasooka nkirowoozaako nga ngamba Mukama azzeemu essaala yange. Naye nga Mukama asobola okuddamu essaala ate omuntu n'afuna accident. Kwegamba nga sibitegeera. Naye kano kayinza oba akatego. Kati ku makya bukeera seebaka na kiro kyonna nasula nsaba. Nga nsabira abaana bange still. Kati ku makya nkeera nga nkubira brother w'essimu nga mbabuuza amanaye mwawulidde nti gundi yakoonya omuntu nti ate tunnabiwulira. Nga mbagamba kale kakati mbadde nsaba tugende ffenna. Bwe kiba kituufu tulabe ekyokukola. Bwe kiba nga si kituufu at least nina omuntu anankola ki? Someone to help me anandaza just in case kabadde katego. Bambi nga naye akkiriza nga tulinya bbaasi nga tugenda paka eggulu nga ngenda paka ku police station nga musangayo. Kati ngenda mutunuulira bwe nti yenna nga ajjudde omusaayi bw'ati. Engalo zonna yenna nga ajjudde omusaayi. Nesooka n'entya.
Ate ng'omusaayi yaguggyewa yali agezaako situla wa booda gwe yatomedde.
Nkujjira story engireeta. Nga bolaba ajjudde omusaayi nga nsooka ntya. Kati jukira ku simu yali bamumpa nenjogera naye kyava ngamba yennyabo wasinze jangu kima abaana bo olaba eddogolo lyakoze omusajja ali mu kaduukulu naye era akyali stubborn. So ntuuka ali musanga n'omusaayi nga njogera n'abapoliisi biki kati nga bambulira engeri gye baali bakoze gye bamusanga baŋŋamba yali avuga. Owa boda nga ava ku ludda olumu, okay? Yali ava eno bw'ati. Emmotoka yange eri eno bw'eti. Kati yayingira ekkubo n'akuba owa boda n'agwa eri. Kati mu kuggwa ono w'emabega ye yagwa mu trench. Owa boda yajja direct ku mira ya mmotoka. Mbu munnaffe ng'amukwata n'engalo ze n'avuga ng'amusindika. This is what was a police what statement. Ng'amusindika kati mu kumusindika emmotoka ate ng'emulinnya ng'eryoka emukulula. Owa boda jukira bode egudde eri omukyala agudde eri mu trench ngo emmotoka eryoka emukulula mbu ng'amukululira ebbanga nga lowooza oba anaafulu ekinaatuka ne kivaayo naye natya nga banyumiza ebintu bino kati ng'atuuka eri ng'alaba tekivaayo ekintu kye omuntu oli tavaayo wansi mu mupiira alaaliddeyo ng'avaayo nga emmotoka agisiba ng'afuluma emmotoka jjukira abaana bali naye mu mmotoka ng'agisiba ng'agenda amugjayo ng'amuteeka ku bbali ng'avuga mmotoka ye nga yeeyongerayo ng'alyoka yeekoloobya nayiteyo simanyi saidi za waaki biki ng'alyoka atuuka ewaka ng'apaakinga emmotoka ng'abaana abajjamu ng'apaakinga engoye zaabwe mu kiveera kuba nze ndabasanga engoye nga ziri mu kikutiya kati ng'akwata n'emmotoka endala gye nnali nvuga ng'agenda paka ku crime scene ngaddayo jukira nedda abaana mbu oba yabaleka I don't remember that part oba yabaleka waako oba yali nabo ngaddayo ng'agenda paka crime scene nga bannange omuntu yafudde oba bambi ani amukoonye bwatyo people narrated the story and I was in shock kati nga yeebuzaabuzawo nga bambi sole biki kati ndoza yali agenze kebera oba omuntu ono afudde ebyaddala
naye nga ye ku crime scene tewaliwo yamulaba yali aloza tewali bamulaba
emmotoka bagamba balaba super custom naye tebakwata number plate naye abantu ne bagirinda akukuwa ne bagamba ejja kuddamu eyitewo tujja gikwata kati yejjukira yakyusa emmotoka ate najja nga alina teyeefaanana nemmotoka teyafuluma kati ngaddayo ng'alinda obudde nga buwungeera olwo ng'ayagala ogivuga ogireeta e Kampala ng'agivuga ku crime scene ng'akyasangawo abantu n'abalyoka bamugoba nga bakubira poliisi ababoda nga bamuteeka bamukwatira yes bamuteega kuba emmotoka yali erabika nti nno yeyagikonye kuba abantu abagiraba baali bagirabye nga bwefaana kuba neera yali eyabise gundi windshield oba screen oba biki ey'emaaso kati banyumiza story eno bannange mbabuulira nga nkwatibwa ennaku nga ngamba omuntu ono waba asobola okukola ekintu kino nanga atuuse okunzita kyanyamba okunzigula amaaso
olowooza omuntu ono teyalina mental issues waliyo omuntu ali nnomo ng'asobola okukola ebintu ebyo.
I tried to analyze this whole situation. One, I think he had a double personality. Second, I think either he had a bipolar issue, I don't know, which had never been diagnosed for. Kuba olumu twalowooza nti mwagwali mwenge naye ate omwenge gwatuukanga nga nkimanyi tagunywedde kuba mbajjukiza bwe twali mu US for 3 months he never ever went out of his skin. He never behaved in any way.
Anti nange kyeneewo
kati that's where the confusion comes from.
Ku social media abantu abasinga oba abantu abajja mu inbox yange bagamba nti that man could be a narcissist. Can you explain
There's
that?
There's no doubt that he was a narcissist.
Who is a narcissist? Because someone could be living with a narcissist, or someone could be a narcissist themselves.
But narcissists tubalabira ku character traits zaabwe. Ekisooka, and I will really mark this out, isolation, isolating. They make you think that they love you and only and they are the only ones who love you. They make you think they are your whole entire world. Now I'm speaking through experience. Okay? Narcissists will tell you you're stupid. They will not desire anything good for you. Naye nga akugamba yasinga okwagala. Okitegeera. Mbadde mbegayirira abakyala bannanga bali even the men, even women are narcissists. Okay? And you can go even and read more about this online or wherever. And like I said, there's a conference that's coming up soon. It's called Trauma to Triumph. If you want to be part of it, kindly register through our website. Okay? You can look for us also on our social media pages, The Warrior Man on Facebook, on Instagram. Reach out to us. There's a phone number that I will leave behind as this program ends that my team is handling to make sure we are putting all these things together. And, send in your application or just send us a message and let us know you'd like to be part of this conference, because it's going to be a conference where God is going to heal hearts. to help you realize what exactly you're going through and how you're able to handle it.
Kati muntu chikati alina okujja mu conference.
Everyone is welcome. We're actually reaching out to teenagers as well, because my child has had issues. We are reaching out to married people, singles. You've gone through something that has really brought on trauma. Now, many of you do not even know you're going through trauma. Like I said, I always mention in my teachings that the way your mind takes on something, I cannot come to you and tell you, no, you should not have behaved like this when it is pain. We all take on pain differently. And let no one tell you that you're not supposed to be feeling like this because of this and that and that.
Yeah.
How you take on pain is different from how I take on pain. Maybe God helped me because there was a strong, courageous woman that I was able to endure all those things. Do not wait until you endure all that, because you may not have the same strength that I had. There are people who have probably gone through things more than I have been through, you know. And right now, I even tell myself that even if it is a simple relationship, I cannot afford my emotional health to be put at stake. I've learned better. I know better now, you know. And this conference is to help us come to that place of realization, to understand that, okay, this is what I've been through, but I need to handle it. And I need to let go, I need to forgive, I need to move on. As you move on into your next destination, either it's a relationship or it's a workplace or it's a church, because we've gone through different kinds of trauma. Yeah. You move on when it is successful, when you know that there's baggage you're not coming with. Okay? You move out of a place of trauma to a place of triumph. Many of you are out there, but it's because of trauma. It's because you have been affected in one way or the other, emotionally, physically, even by just simple things as grief, losing a loved one to death. I went through that kind of trauma when I was young, and I didn't even know I was going through it, you know? So these are things that we need to come around to face.
Some have lost a job, just a job, and they went into trauma.
Yes, you go into that mode and you feel like, for example, you feel numb, totally numb. Then you end up, people who are out there and you've gotten ulcers. I reached a point when I had terrible ulcers. And God told me, you see, you're carrying so much on you. Let it go. I always tell people who come to me, they're like, how come you're not worried about this? Like, I see things that I need to face, and I'm like, by the way, I'm okay, I am happy. And they're like, how do you manage that? I only tell them, I wait to cross the bridge. When I'm there, then I'll deal with it. But I also trust my God that whichever way He's handling this. Now, mbabulira story, nti waneno wetuli ku police, I see this man and I feel pity for him. Abantu ne bangamba ube nali nkubiddeko abatono essimu. Ne bangamba mulekeeyo tomujjaayo. And again I heard the word mercy. And I'm like, God, isn't this my time to actually take, you know? Mulekeeyo? Ne ngamba nedda. I had worked through this journey of forgiveness. Not this one part would have allowed me to put all of it down. So I chose to forgive him. I called some people who knew us as a family. I told them this and this is happening. We need money, okumujayo, but also to pay the family that had gone, you know, had lost their loved one. And so that time they sent the money. They said about, I think, I don't remember the real figure, but it was about 12 or 11 million. Zona nezikwata nangamba ziteke kwa account yange. Zona nezikwata neziteka kwa account ye. Kati nangamba mukuvaayo nangamba abana ngina kutugenda ngina bavuga ngina batwala ewamwe n'abaana bo. Olonga alinga ayize. Baganda bange. If there's Pharaoh is real. The spirit of Pharaoh is real. Because, and when we look at the scriptures, God made Pharaoh's heart stubborn. This man's heart was so stubborn, to the point that all those days, because she knew there was so much I was going through, and kids and what, so she came to help, you know. And so we, after that whole saga, he drove us to Kampala. Nentekamu ne suitcase z'abaana na buli kimu. Tutuuka e Kampala nga ngamba kakati omanyi kabana bano kambatwaleko ku ice cream ngenda bakuleetera nti kale
omwami
yes.
olwo mupakinzeewa
tupakinze twagenda yatutwala paka ewa maama wange kati nga manyi bwe mbajjaawo mbatwala Nansana yabavuga teyabazza
wanje n'agenda nabo paka ggulu nangamba oba beetaaga jangu bakime eggulu nakubira abazadde bange nanga bwaba yagala abaana bajja eggulu mbabuulira omutima gw'abaana guluma namala ennaku 3 nga mpulira ate kati ke nali mbalabyeko ng'omutima gukomyewo nenkwata baasi nenzirayo olwo ng'afunye ennyumba endala mu Gulu town kubanga eri mu kyalo asobola kubeerayo ng'abantu bamuli bubi bagenda bagala mutta because of that whole saga kujjukira yali yali Muganda oli Gulu oyagala gwali atomedde yali weeri ewa
yali wa Mucholi so there was a very very bad fracas there so I go back now this is it's even shameful to speak but I went back into the marital home netusooka tuddamu awo for like 1 or 2 days
olwo akazigo kaleke ddaani
nkalese nkasibye jjukira mulimu mufaliso
naye mukama
kyava ngamba nti naye omanyi kati bano we tuli mu Gulu town sijja kukuba abantu bawe bali biki beerawo
naye nga yabikolanga abimanyi busijja kukuba
nga byebyogeranga kati nga mugamba nedda ekyandeese babadde baana bw'obanga owulira togenda kumpa abaana mbuulira kuba you're wasting my time nangamba nze olowooza nsobola okuwa abaana namuga kati waki wanninyisiza baasi and I was so stupid to the point that I kept believing him yeyo nawe kenyini kyoyitamu kati esaawa eno they keep telling you these things and you keep believing bwe nkugamba nti nagezaako muganda wange nagezaako
oh my god
so ntuuka kati seewe eno neŋŋamba kati kansalewo nensalawo ku luno by the way after that day when he drove those children early in the morning and took them out of the house that day ngalooza sisobola kufuluma ngalooza sisobola kuddayo nemmanya nti kati now the weapon is children again
akozesa baana
nali ntabuddemu n'akasente kange nenkwata baasi nengenda paka e Kampala nensiba omutima neŋŋamba kati ku luno ekijja kijje saddamu kuddayo
katugende tuwummuleko kubanga ebyo ebyasaddamu nza okuba nga waliyo story endala be hopeful short katuwummulemu katono tukomawo.
You're watching Be Hopeful. We'll be right back after the break. Bethany TV for health.
Child health and well-being, the foundation for a bright and promising future. Join us for exciting episodes aimed at optimizing our children's physical, mental, and emotional health with our team of experts, including pediatricians, nutritionists, and child psychologists, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on Bethany TV.
Bethany TV for health. Introducing Bethany TV, the pioneer health and wellness channel in Uganda and Africa, having a profound commitment to health and wellness. Our content takes various forms, from music and series to documentaries, talk shows, news, features, movies, cartoons, and reality shows. We are a hybrid station available on free-to-air and pay platforms, embracing the digital age as we maintain a strong online presence through our website, social media platforms, and mobile apps. Explore our rich and diverse content, engage with us on social media, and be a part of the positive change we aim to bring to the health and wellness landscape. Bethany TV for health.
Health Minute on Bethany TV.
Cervical cancer is the fourth most common cancer among women globally. It is a preventable and treatable form of cancer, yet it remains one of the most common causes of death for women.
It is a tumor that always affects females because males don't have cervix, so it happens in females. So cervical cancer, it happens that there is a change in the histology or the growth of the cervix.
Risk factors include having multiple sexual partners, immunosuppression, and cigarette smoking.
Management would do radiochemo and also surgical.
Women can reduce their risk of developing cervical cancer by having regular screening tests and receiving a vaccine that protects against HPV infection.
Better healthcare for a better tomorrow. That was the Health Minute.
Bethany TV for health. And now, more with Be Hopeful.
Be Hopeful show wala kubanga kyatambula naffe mbadde wano nga ngamba Warrior Woman lwaki tetuzannyayo ka movie oba kayita Be Hopeful. Warrior Woman in the Be Hopeful. Okomyewo maliridde mbu toddayo.
Corona malirira ne ngamba kakati emizannyo gy'omwami ono ngikooye. Let me move on with my life.
Olomala bbanga ki? Ebyo byonna bukyanga ovaayo olyoka omukubita essimu ajje musabe olyoka accident ebeera olwakakabanga. How long had it taken? So
navaayo mu 2017 as the year had ended. I think January awo nengezaako era okuddayo kati bwe nakomawo around March is when I went into Nansana. April, May, so June now, April, May, June, echa accident wekyatuukirawo. So in that moment in time, I remember I kept going to Mutundwe naye nengamba Mukama nitaaga ekkanisa wensobola okulaga a place where I could call home. So one of those days I'm walking and nimpulira eddoboozi nga lingamba no waliwo ekkanisa nali ndi Kololo naye nga sigiraba. So in that moment nengamba sigiraba, but I've heard the voice, you know. So nenchiwa obudde. After a time, about 2 weeks, I met another long time friend of mine who connected me to the same church in that same place. Church ebagiyita Christian Discipleship Ministries International, Pastor Apostle Michael Chimuli.
Oh, Michael Chimuli.
So when again Apostle Michael Chimuli ne munyonyola embeera yange ne munyonyola story yange ne mugamba naye nno nkubulire ndi wano naye wabula nalina obuvumu. Ne mugamba I'm here but I'm heading for divorce. So if at all that ekyo kikontana n'ekkanisa yo nebimubuyivingiramu, I'm willing to leave. Yes. Nangamba ate lwaki oyogera bubi bwotyo? Nemugamba nedda munaye bangi temutukkiriza kubeera mu makanisa gammwe because you believe in something else, and the same God you believe in is the one I believe in. However, embeera yange ebadde mbi nnyo to the point I could not choose to go back. So nampulirizaamu ebimu naye bwe twamala okwogera nangamba komawo jangu obeere wano, come and fellowship with us. Nangamba nemugamba I needed a place to call home as a church, and so I started going there, and they really welcomed me into the church. They gave me a platform to serve. I began from serving as a choir person. Now in that period of time jukira nali nga n'ekyokulya sikirina, but I wanted my children. Nabasabiranga misana na kiro. Mukama nangamba nedda togenda kunkuba abaana ate. I want you to know me, you know. So I reached a point where I had to now kind of be reasonable with my prayers and be able to pray that I will know God. Because I knew he loved my children, and every time buli webalwalanga nga andaga mu kirooto oba bwe yalinga abakuba nga abindaga nga mbasabira nga ebintu binnuma naye nga sirina kyakkola. So in that period of time, as I kept praying by faith, nengamba ngenda finansana. Ngende, I wanted a house which was more reasonable, so I headed for Chira. Kati because nali maze banga nga nsaba nenga mukama, I'm taking a step of faith, because in court bwe tunabanga tutandise ogamba nti no tugirira abaana through court, they are going to want to see where my children are going to be. So I started speaking to my pastor to pray for me for provision and whatnot, and then a long time pastor's wife connects with me during that time. Nemugamba mbereyo. Na katibo yamala na she provided some money. Nangamba, I have only this, please find a house. So I go out and I find a house for 400,000. Mvude kumitwalo 10 nzira kumitwalo. N'abansengula bansekerera. Kuba nalina omufaliso, gasi, ekikopo ekimu kyali kimenyese.
Ng'otugamba nti bagana yego oli musiru. Olina akafaliso kamu ogenda mu nyumba ya mitwalo.
Nali njagala abaana bange. When natuka nenteka, I put an altar of prayer. Binji nyo byestasobola kola nze ng'omuntu. But one thing I know is that I am able to pray. I can pray. That one I know. Mukama ansomeseza, through the pain I have been through, God has taught me how to pray. So ningina nenteka we choto nentandikosa ninga mukame ne nyumba yogwage no gisasula rent ate n'abaana bo balina okujja. Kuba Bible yegamba gwe bba wange. Okitegeera. So nentandiko noonya mukama n'abeeranga omwami ono yannoonyanga buli lunaku nga ntracking essimu naye nga buli wemba nafulumanga oba ogenda ku kkanisa nga nfuna ekirooto the previous night nga ndaba alina wanoonyeza ate mu kifo kyekimu mwe nnina okuyita era nga mukama ngamba kati toyitaawo yita wano. My people, God has been there. If any one of you will ampuliriza nti tomanyi nti Katonda gyali olw'okuba nti ondaba ku TV olwaleero Katonda gyali, my God exists. I am telling you.
Yesterday I was talking to someone and I said, if there are people out there who do not believe God exists, let them look for me. Banonye nzembaga kasente actually Katonda gyali.
Kubanga singa Katonda yali taliyo nze nandibadde mufu. Nandibadde mbuyaga ekunta. Okitegeera. I have, even as I look back, nina episodes zentunulira nengamba naye, how did I get out of that one alive? Nafuluma ntya nga nkyali mulamu. All that time he preserved my life. And all the time, even after leaving, still he preserved me. Gwali eyo nga obadde mu kintu. I'm not encouraging you to leave your marriage, but for as long as you know you're not safe, you need to leave. Separate yourself until you feel like either you're able to go back or you're able to leave it once and for all. The answer lies between you and God. I told someone yesterday it is a personal journey. Mine is still a personal journey. And because I was hearing from God directly, nabagenda mbonanga tebalina answers. Nentandika okutambula ne Katonda wange. Nentandika okumanya eddoboozi lye. Omanyi nti a lot of Christians today do not even understand the voice of God. And yet the Bible says, my sheep know my voice. What time have you taken okumanya eddoboozi lya Katonda? Byokola otegeera oba bituufu oba bikyamu. Many of us have found ourselves even in marriages that have not been ordained by God whatsoever. And
also many have left their marriages when God has not been the one to tell them.
Exactly.
Katonda osobola okuyita nno mu mbeera naye n'agamba you belong here.
Yes.
Wait. So n'atuuka ekiseera omwami n'amukyusa.
N'amukyusa bangi tuwulidde testimonies. Okitegeera. Naye mbagamba olwaleero nti singa teyali Katonda nandibadde siri mulamu. Obulamu, life has been hard and I cannot deny it. Mundaba wano nga nyambadde bulungi. Teri amanyi nti oba nina emmere ewange oba sirina.
I know.
And that is what is happening to single mothers out there.
Abangi baagala kumanya. Finally, abaana bavaayo batya. Ye kaakati warrior woman abeerawo ate yafuna kibbooyi ekirala kati kimuvujjirira kivujjirira omusimbi.
Anaye mbabulire ebintu bya relationships bibadde bizibu, especially having gone through that trauma. Bibadde bizibu goge mazima. Naye ate n'ekirala, I have grown into wisdom to know what exactly I want and what I don't want. Olwaleero bwe mbadde nzize, I've walked through a few relationships here and there. Naye Mukama abadde ajja abandaga. And unfortunately, there was something I almost got married last year.
God,
another. Let me tell you, my friends, the devil will bring the same person in a different skin to come to you.
I'm telling you.
The same thing. And it's like, in the moment when I realized it, it's like something had been ripped off my face. I'm like, wait a minute. This is exactly what I've been through. And
by the way, that happens a lot in relationships. Even when people get married, someone can leave this relationship where there has been emotional manipulation, and then they will go into another relationship. Someone comes with the same character but in a different skin. Maybe emotionally, this person is abusing you.
And you've got to look out for those character traits.
Let me tell you, it is the same person.
As a person, you'll always be attracted to that kind of person until you break the cycle. That is why I'm telling you, it is important for you to go through healing.
Very important.
Very important, because when you realize some spiritual mapping, you're going to realize that, wait a minute, why am I even attracted to these kinds of people? Okitegera bukuba anti era mu healing mutandikira okusaba okitegera. Olwaleero, I pray for people all over the world who have been through things that have come close to my story. But not even just that. Like the other day, I was mentioning to someone that the Lord made me, pray for someone whose marriage had broken. And I was asking myself, but God,
am I the right candidate?
Even the right person? And God is like, you see, it is not you. It is me inside of you working through you. And I'll tell you, after sharing my story on Bethany, some men also approached me. They're like, I've been beating my wife, but I want to stop. How can I do this? This is why we share these stories. I come out boldly to share with you because you need healing. You need someone to walk with you. I mean, I'm not asserting myself to be the right person. Okay? But I know the journey I have taken. And I know that God has been able to use my story to change so many lives out there, both internationally. Actually, recently, I've been doing mentorship, but only, for abroad people. So recently, after this sharing my story, some, campuses approached me and they're like, I want you to be my mentor and whatnot. And God has spoken to me about mentoring people here as well. I didn't think that I was called locally to, because here, man, it's hard. But locally things are hard. Abantu tebakuwa platforms zaabwe basoka ne bakuuza who is your spiritual father, ne bakujudginga yo a divorcee, bichi gwolina kalungi ki, you're a single mother, like they look at you as an outcast. Now people abroad are not judgmental. They hear by the Spirit. As they hear and they are peaceful about the person, they will let you pray for them. As long as you have them on beda. Nefe ba Africans tulina nnyo I don't even know how to call it. We have that behavior, But the thing is, the God inside of me, the God who let me go through what I've been through, has enabled me to reach out to souls out there. Okay? And I'll tell you, my friend, there's still hope.
Yes, there is.
Ojja kuwona. Katonda nga kyali mulamu atenga mulamu ekiseera kyonna ogenda kuwona. Now today, if anyone is interested in our mentorship program as a ministry, again, I'll read the numbers before we finish, that you can be able to register with us.
You can read the numbers now.
Okay, if there's anyone, maybe they can also put them on the screen. 0782 963 145. 0782 963 145. Our team get in touch through that number, and then mostly really send WhatsApp messages, because the calls can be so many that but if you send WhatsApp and you're interested in mentorship, you're going through a relationship crisis, I'm not an expert, but the God inside of me knows our hearts better than anyone else. I know that He's given me wisdom to help where I can, and also to pray as well, because some of us, it is actually spiritual. Is
that the number?
Yes, 963-145. Yes, thank you again so much for having me on this show. I encourage all of you, whoever is going through something, kindly look out for your emotional health. Your mental health is very key, very important, especially when you have to take care of those children, when you have to, even just taking care of your mother, your father, your relatives. Make sure you find healing. It's very, very important. Now, for all the details that you need in my story, the book will be out by the grace of God this December. Again, for you to be able to, have updates, kindly reach out to our number or subscribe to our website, www.warriorwomanministry.org. warriorwomanministry.org.
Wow, amazing. So
any other questions?
And trust me, I have 1,000 questions, but olw'obudde tetujjako emboozi eno nakkiriza teriggwa. Naye njagala oyogereko n'omuntu atulaba akadde kano, oba muwala, oba mulenzi, oba mukyala, oba musajja, naddala abantu abali mu relationships, nga alina atandise okufuna signs ezo, alina obuntu bwalaba obumukanga. Omuntu oyo muwa magezi ki? Nakyazaako omukyala wa Katonda ku programu eno. Ne mubuuza ekibuuzo ne mugamba nti ennaku zino amakanisa abantu bali hurt mu marriages.
Yes.
And the church does not allow divorce because God does not allow divorce. But then there are people who are going through terrible things. What do you have to talk about this? Nagamba nti nedda, marriage is, God says marriage is supposed to be beautiful and nice.
Yes.
So if it ceases to be a beautiful thing, then something must be done. But we are not here to advocate for divorce and all that and separation. Nenjagala obeereko omuntu goyogera naye. Yinza okuba nga sina relationship nga ku mulimu abaddewo ebbanga ddene, they have been going through the same things. Akola tebamusasula naye ng'akyaliyo mwaka mulamba naye akyakola. Yeewola transport agende ku mulimu. Please, in 1 minute or two.
Wow, that's a full topic that we can handle. But at the same time, like I said, look out for your emotional health. Because once you're not functioning, you see, when you have an external wound, you can take care of it. But if it is internal, ng'abakyala abazaala ekyo ekiwundu ky'omunda bw'oba tokirabiridde kitana. Ne batuuka n'okugamba nti no bakugyamu n'abaana. Excuse me. But you've got to take care of yourself emotionally. Your mental health is very key. Actually, I am advocating for mental health. I am advocating for say no to domestic violence. Men, stop hitting your wives. She's not a drum. Women, if you're doing something to that man that is causing him pain, stop. When you read through Psalms 50, Mukama agamba nti byonna wabikola n'enkutunuulira n'olowooza nti twenkanankana. Naye olunaku lulituukanga, you have to answer for those things. Know that there's a God who exists and you're going to be accountable for those things. You who need healing, seek healing from someone you can trust, from someone who you know is able not to judge you. Yes. But you've got to get out of that cocoon where you are and spread your wings and allow to enter into that journey of healing.
Amen. Tuwe ekyawandiike. Otuwe n'oluyimba tulukuzannyire tuve wano.
Wow. There's a song that the Lord put on my heart last week. You asked me if there was someone I was dating or anything. Before that wedding, I would definitely come back.
You almost got married.
Yes. There's a new flavor. There's a, I think it's Sinach. There's a new level, something like that. That's the song that God has been putting on my heart for this season. And there are people, allow the new thing that God is doing in your life. Allow yourself to get into that new phase. There's that scripture still, behold, I do a new thing. It's in Isaiah. I don't remember the chapter, but when you look for it on Google, he says, behold, I'm doing a new thing.
I think it's Isaiah 53.
Yes, I am doing a new thing. God is doing something new in your life. Accept it, allow it. Mukama muleke achikole. Now, when God is doing something, waliwo ekisooka okuvaawo. He needs to destroy first before he builds. Nga bw'olaba nti no bwe tuba tuzimba ennyumba tusooka kuggyayo ttaka wansi okuteekayo foundation. So waliwo ebintu ebimu byalina okuggyamu, waliwo ebintu ebimu oba relationship gyayetaaga okujja. Abamu muli mu bufumbo obumu nga it's not even about the ring. Nga alina okuggyayo eyo. It's painful and you're comfortable there and it's convenient, but man, there are things that he needs to get out of you first for you to be able to have a good foundation and that you move with him in the future for just his purposes. He has the redemption plan. Romans 8:28.
Ebigambo bingi naye tulina okusiibula. Be hopeful cho wetutambudde ne Warrior Woman obala okuba otambudde naffe abatulaba ku social media platforms mwebale nnyo abali ku website mwebale nnyo okulaba Be Hopeful Show. Tetugenda kubanga tusukkawo wano naye kimanyi nti n'emboozi ekyagenda mu maaso n'olwekyo genda ku mikutu gwe yasubiddwa simanyi kyakugamba eyasubwa episodes ezasooka genda ku YouTube olabe emboozi ya Zani sogera linnya lirala Zani Fever, the Warrior Woman. Wini Mbabazi gegange tudde mu Natonda Korencha. Aye.
There's an outpouring of abundance, of abundance.